Let's do Djikstra Method. A word of caution for some of the students who are not comfortable with Djikstra Method, which could be a little bit complicated. Stick to tree diagram. That'll give you full marks. So let's move on to Djikstra. Okay, if you look at the diagram, it's asking you to find out the shortest path between A and G. Well, why do we need it? Sometimes we got to optimize, we got to find out the minimum time to travel from one place to another. If you're going from your home to the airport, you are looking for the shortest path. So from A to A, it's pretty obvious. It's 0. This is how we write it. Now, if we are considering B, that's the node, we can come from A. And that's the only way to do it. And how do we write it? We write it as A4. Where did the 4 come from? From there. Okay, so that's what it means. If we come from A to B, the distance is 4. Now let's look at D. That's the node. D, we can come from B. We can come from B, and the distance will be 4 plus 1 will be 5. We can come from A, and the distance will be 7. 7 came from there. Also, we can come from C, and we can come from C, and the total distance will be 3 plus 3, which will be 6. Now, what we are going to do, that's the only choice we had, we circle it. And out of this 3, this is the minimum one, we mark it. Now, let's move on to the node D. Sorry, node C. To C, we can come from A. We can come from A, just ignore that 3. We can come from A, and the distance will be 3. That's the only way we can come from. Right? Now, this is okay. Right. Now let's consider F. Right? Okay. To F, we can come from, the only way we can come from is A. So, and the total distance will be 4 plus another 4. Right? Okay. Now, let's consider E. That's the node. We can come from 1, 2. 2 departure point. So if we come from D, if we come from D, it'll be 5 plus 2 will be 7, right? We can come from A. We can come from A, and that'll be 3 plus 5 is 8. Now we got to compare and see which one is the minimum at that point. So minimum is D7, and that is the minimum for F. Now let's move on to, we have considered F, we have considered D, and all those are circled. Now we are going to move into G. To G we can come from F, and if we come from F, it'll be what? 8 plus 4 is 12. And then if we come from D, it's 5 plus 7. 5 plus 7 is 12. And if we come from E, that'll be 7 plus 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. Sorry, that's not G. I came from D. And that'll be, I'm coming from E, and that distance will be 9. Now, as you can see, this is the minimum, right? Now, we got to backtrack and find out and find the shortest path. Don't forget to do that. How do you backtrack? If we take the minimum shortest path is 9, we can go that way, we can go back that way, we can go back that way. So 9 minus 4, does it give you 8? No, so this is not going to work. This is not going to work. 9 minus 7, does it give you 5? No, it's not going to work. 9 minus, that was 2, so 7. So the route will be, backtracking will be that one. And now, if we go back, 7 minus 2 gives you 5, so this is going to work. 7 minus 5 is not going to work, right? So from there, if we backtrack, backtrack, I'm repeating the word, backtracking is very important. Please do not forget to do the backtracking to find the path. Otherwise, it's not going to be, final decision will not be right. So if we go back to D, from D, which is 5, just the summed up distance is 5. If we go back this way, probably, yep, this is going to give you the right route, because 5 minus 1 is 4, which works. And then finally, 4 minus 4, so this is going to be the, so the route will be A, B, D, and that was, it's already messy, G. A, B, D, E, G. See that the final working is quite messy. So you got to, might have to do it a couple of times. Right. And finally, yep. And the answer is, I think it's given somewhere over there. A, B, D, E, G is 9. So finally, you'll have to write this answer. Without this, you are not going to make, you are not going to get full marks. Time to stop.